Hi everyone, and welcome to our Patreon exclusive Across the MCU-verse. We saw Thor Ragnarok at the weekend, and we wanted to share our thoughts and feelings on the new film in the series. As always, I am your host, Matthew Vose, and I'm joined by Catherine Kay.
Hi everyone.
So we're going to try to avoid spoilers for the first part of the discussion, and then we will maybe deal with spoilers or plot-specific elements in the later part of the discussion. Starts off on the big picture questions. Catherine, what did you think of Thor Ragnarok?
Absolutely loved it. There are very few films where I feel absolutely exhilarated when I leave. I can't pronounce the word exhilarated. There are very few films where I come out of the cinema feeling absolutely exhilarated. But I just found this whole film a joy. Fun, exciting, loved it.
Yeah, I think the funny is the thing with it, that fun. I'm not sure there's anything else I can come away from this film talking about, except that it's really funny. It goes to comedy as every single moment it can do.
I agree, but I think there's also a nice story element in it. I can feel how the story fits within the sort of overarching universe. For me, it's got all the good bits of Guardians and the fun of Guardians, but the weight of the Avengers type storylines. I loved it.
Okay, interesting. I've come away with a real feeling of the funny and having laughed all the way through, but I feel it was hitting all the plot points of every Marvel film, which, to be honest, have grown a little boring. They're interesting in the moment, but actually they go through largely the same sort of story. And when this film isn't doing funny, it starts straying off a bit. So when we're dealing with the exposition about our new villain and the backstory that they're now adding into the universe, I feel it sort of goes a bit wayward. And then we're back with Thor and Loki, and it's all good and fun again.
I didn't feel that.
Okay.
I just really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Not an awful lot more to add to that. I didn't feel that about the exposition and the backstory. I think there probably are an awful lot of elements to the backstory and the universe, etc., that we don't know.
Right.
And I have to stop talking now because spoilers.
Before we get into that, is there anything you want to say about great performances, great moments, anything that's not necessarily a spoiler that you've come away with? Yeah, that's the thing. That's what's making this possibly even better than Guardians for you.
I don't know how to answer without spoilers.
Okay, so this is the point at which we're going to go into spoilers. I'm going to cut out your comment about the Valkyrie. Because, yeah, there is a lot of detail. We're introducing two major new characters in Hela and Valkyrie.
Yep.
Who had a name, probably, but is also Valkyrie.
Yep.
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
Who is played by the lady who is the scary but young boss woman in Westworld. That was who she was.
Okay. Yes.
Like, I recognised her. We both recognised her.
Yeah.
But I could not place her, and they're such different characters.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. I still think I must have seen her somewhere else as well.
Well, she's been in 2 episodes of Grace, but I've been in 2 episodes of Grace,
done.
so...
Yeah, I loved her. I loved her character. I enjoyed her as a sort of scavenger, hardened drinking bandit lady. But I enjoyed her even more as a Valkyrie, and I like her interactions with Thor. I like the way they act together.
Right. As possible love interest, love triangle. Strange thing going on there.
Maybe. I mean, I'd be quite happy for him and Jane to be like just like no more. That was Natalie Portman, not my favourite.
No, she was not great, and I don't think she wants to be in these films anymore. So,
Exactly.
I loved the Thor and Loki dynamic.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it worked. It worked so much better here than it has when they've tried to play it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
We get Loki's baggage. We understand his issues with everything. We understand Thor's issues with everything. They're basically going, yeah, you get it now. Let's move on from that. These guys are a bit more grown up. So
yes,
yeah.
I really enjoyed the Loki character. I enjoyed and I enjoyed the fact that they haven't tried to take away from the fact that his default setting is sneaky.
Yeah.
But actually, underneath that, there is a love for his brother.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked that, and I liked that interaction. And because I'm a soppy sap, I was very happy that Loki came good in the end. I liked it.
See, I always knew he was going to come good in the end because there's a shot from the trailer of him walking along that bridge, throwing 2 knives up and catching them, which was not in the actual film. So I was always like, well, we've still got that moment to come, and that's kind of a hero shot. So
yeah,
the trailer itself sort of ruined it a little bit, or spoiled it. Yeah.
Okay, moving away from Thor and Loki.
Okay.
Who was your ultimate overall best performance out of everyone in the film?
I mean, I like Tom Hiddleston a lot because he's my brother. So there's always that. Oh, could it be Cate Blanchett?
She's kind of cool.
She was really good and chewing the scenery in everything that I would like from a Marvel villain.
And quite frankly, who wouldn't like hair like that if you were in a
Yeah.
work meeting and people had really irritated you? You could just throw your hands back and then they'd know they'd be in for it.
Evil antlers.
Yes. Why are my calculations not ready?
Bringing the real world into the podcast, are we, Catherine?
Little bit.
It's just she never had anyone to play off against. Her and Thor is not a good combination because they're utterly mismatched characters.
Yeah.
If she's completely smart and confident and strong in a way that he's not, and he in this film is now meat-headed and funny, her and Loki would have been a really interesting contrast. You know, he still wants to be ruling everything, and he sees her as the direct challenger for it now. But
it's interesting. I think Loki's desire for ruling everything extends to what he had when he was taking his dad's place.
Yeah.
No interest in expanding. Well, in this current iteration of Loki, no interest in expanding that. He'd like a nice, small, discreet universe where he gets to sit on the sofa and have people fuss around him.
Yeah.
He's not that interested in expanding his realm beyond that.
Yeah. Yeah, she was wonderful, but there is a slight element of a missed opportunity for me because she had Carl Urban, whose story was not done as well as I felt it could have been. I would have liked to have seen him actually do some slightly more evil acts in supporting her, and then for him to really redeem himself properly at the end, a bit like we've seen with Loki in some other stuff. But right from the very beginning, he never actually does anything. He just stands to the side, and he keeps giving these looks of, oh, I'm not sure I should be doing this. I'm a doctor, not a Asgardian thing.
Do you think that's because, well, for me, perhaps the audience of this film is pitched at an age level that's slightly too young for the level of moral ambiguity that you'd need for Carl Urban's character to actually do horrific things and then redeem himself?
Yes, maybe. Not that a teen wouldn't pick up on it, because I think it's definitely a teen audience, nothing below that, because of the comic book violence that goes on.
I think it will be enjoyed by younger teens as well.
Yeah, but still 12, 13 and up, I think.
Yes, agreed.
If you're listening to this, nephew, I hope it's in a few years. I remembered what I was going to say about Thor and Loki, but particularly Thor's character is now the shorts they released about Thor not being in Civil War. So they released the short web thing of him living with some dude in New Zealand or Australia. His new flatmate Brian or something, and calling Tony because he wants to go and help with the Civil War. Yeah. That jokey thing is basically what Thor is now. Just going around and making the funny with people and being slightly out of sorts. He's got this whole very old-fashioned style of dialogue, but then occasionally throws in a bit of a quip or a bit of a, well, he's adopted. Yeah,
I get that. I get that. This is the first Thor-focused film that I've really, really enjoyed. Yeah. I don't think I minded the second Thor film. I have very limited recollection of it, though.
Yeah, the fact it was in Greenwich worked for me, and the Natalie Portman's subordinate researcher, who then has not Kat Deely, Kat Dennings? Her. I can't remember. The one from Two Broke Girls. And she then had an intern, and they had a bit of interplay and a bit of comedy.
I remember that.
I remember enjoying that.
Yeah. I thought the first Thor film was rubbish.
Yes. Yeah. There are bits of it, I think, that have very good possibility, but it just never quite lands. The other bit from the second one is after Loki's mum has died, and he's casting the glimmer to make it look like everything's okay, and he eventually drops it, and you can see how broken he is. Yeah. Perfect moment. Yeah. Wonderful, but there's too few of that in those first two films.
Whereas for me, they've hit their stride with this. I know it's now all about the funny. Mm-hmm. That works for me. And like the set piece at the beginning when he's in whatever the hell zone and he's chatting to the skeleton, and I just love that. I love that sense of fun, that sense of levity. That's what I think. There's a definite space for that sort of film in the the card pack of the Marvel film stuff.
Okay, this might be a bit more of an end conversation than we're at, but would you want a Thor 4? Thor 4?
Yes, I would be sore if they didn't make a Thor 4.
You want more Thor 4?
Yes.
Because they've not done a fourth in any of the series yet. There's been Iron Man 4 and stop, Captain America Civil War and possibly stop, all building up towards Avengers Infinity War next summer.
Maybe they could call it Hulk 1?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this film is based off the comic book series Planet Hulk. Okay. Where he is a rampaging dude who's beating up all these combatants in a gladiatorial arena. Like, they have absolutely lifted that, and it works. We've not mentioned Hulk, but it works. It's everything you saw in the trailers, and then there's a bit more Hulk going on throughout it as well. None of it is hugely surprising. Almost it was underused. I could have done with a little bit more Banner being capable. Yeah. But this is the film about Hulk, not about Banner. So,
agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
We had a really interesting couple of comments from our friend Abigail, a show on Twitter, who agreed a bit about some of Carl Urban stuff, but also the Thor and Loki. She said she would quite like a full Thor and Loki sketch comedy show. But I think the massive violence has sort of put her off thinking about it. It's not dissimilar to what we've seen elsewhere, but this really felt like a bit more actual people being hurt and in the way, where previously it's been aliens and no one in New York seems to be injured in Avengers. It's been robots. It's been virtual people in Guardians.
I guess at the end, most of the baddies that they were killing were essentially skeletons from the dead. But thinking about it earlier on, the Asgardian soldiers all effectively just got slaughtered.
Yes.
So yes, I guess that's where sort of dead people, of people type people, people, as opposed to not
who are the luckiest people.
Not so much if you're an Asgardian.
Well, no, if you're not an Asgardian warrior, if you're the 0 to their 1.
Yes. I did find it a little confusing that the Asgardians were either flower children in robes and have never even sniffed at a sword before,
Yeah.
or are full-on hulking guards.
Yes.
Like, where's the in-between here?
Yeah. It's a bit strange, and we never see the people as Guardians doing anything.
No, they're
really.
just basically scared
Yeah.
little sheep running around the place.
Idris Elba was Idris Elba, and I wonder if they didn't know what he would become when they cast him in that first film, because he has grown, and there is very much a sense of, if you've got Idris Elba, you use him as well as you can now. So
yes, yeah. I see that.
Catherine, who do you think has been the best performance? The same question you asked me earlier.
Always Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah?
He was awesome.
Yeah.
So he can do so much with such a turn of his, turn of his head, a gesture of his hand. Awesome.
Yeah. We're in a film where you've got people playing everything up. You've got Cate Blanchett doing her Galadriel as evil bit.
Yeah.
You've got Thor and Loki chewing the scenery and exchanging banterness. And then you've got him just, no, let's just move on.
Yes.
And just playing it really low-key. It works.
Yeah.
It's so different than the other villains we see in the MCU.
No, I really enjoyed him, and it just just so much fun. And I almost felt like he was a little bit of trying to think of the character, but it feels like he's a sort of a comedy Roman in a musical. I was waiting for him to sort of break out in song or something like that.
Like something from a Carry On film.
Yeah.
or Monty Python Holy Grail.
Or the Pharaoh character in Joseph and His Technicolor Dreamcoat, or something like that. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, but I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it, him. And I quite liked his fearsome warrior woman sidekick. She was good fun as well.
Probably malevolent.
Yeah.
With the melty stick.
Yeah. Yeah, all of that. I really enjoyed that whole sort of...
Yeah. Other than Hulk, the film didn't tie in to the wider MCU too much. Couple of slight references. They finally explained the Infinity Gauntlet, which was in the first Thor movie, and then they realised, oh no, we need to give that to Thanos. We can't have it on Asgard. So they finally explained it by saying, well, that's a fake. Bit of retconning.
I didn't spot what that was about.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right.
I think it's the sort of thing you need to throw in a line, otherwise that first film breaks your own canon.
Right.
Do you wish they had, and do you think this film is going to impact future films?
I suppose it's not so much I wish they had for its own sake, but I was expecting this to, maybe in the post-credit scene, interact a little bit more to bring the Guardians into that world. I was expecting just something to have a little bit more of a crossover there.
Yeah.
Maybe even... I don't know why, but in my head, I had somehow set Jeff Goldblum's character up as some kind of second cousin once removed to the Collector. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But somehow there was something within the Goldblum character that harked to the Collector for me. And I think I just dreamt up. I just assumed there was going to be some kind of scene with those guys together that maybe allowed that bridge with the with the Guardians world.
Okay.
So,
do you think it's going to impact future films?
Well, I suspect Loki and his sneaky sneakiness has pocketed that Infinity Stone. Presumably someone has to have, or else it's been blown up and is just randomly floating in space.
The debris of Asgard?
Or has somehow sucked in the evil spirit of Bella, or whatever she was called. I don't know. It's a little bit of a waste of Cate Blanchett, but...
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
I think there was a definite moment where they could have introduced the Guardians when they're escaping from the combat world, town, city, arena. I was almost expecting we're going to need cover as we get out of here. Hey, I know some people who can help. And even if it's just Rocket and Drax, you don't have to have Chris Pratt in there.
Yeah.
But maybe something I thought might come into that. Yeah. And post-credit sequences that were small. Where previously, like I suspect the thing in the post-credits sequence is Thanos' ship. But I don't know, and there wasn't enough detail there to know. But where other ones are Thanos putting on the Infinity Gauntlet, or, talking about courting death and all this kind of thing.
Thanos hasn't really come to anything much yet. He's just kind of been there in the background, lurking.
Yeah.
I do kind of hope that when he does come to something, it's not a bit of a damp squib.
Well,
because
we've been told a lot how powerful he is. We've never been shown it. And the Infinity War film is going to have 60 or 70 characters from other films in it. If you assume it's going to have everyone. Do
you think they're going to get, those glossaries you get at the back of big sci-fi novels?
A dramatis personae.
Exactly. Do you think that you're going to have one for every person who goes into the cinema so they can sit there and flick through?
No, because they assume we've seen them all, which we have. But not everyone. There are people who are going to start this series on Infinity War.
Which tells me, or makes me think, they are going to keep the key action focused around a much smaller number of core characters.
Maybe. You've got all the Guardians, all the Avengers, Black Panther, Thor, Loki. Oh, there's a lot of people to bring in, and maybe they bring in Coulson and May and Daredevil and...
No,
surely not, but...
I don't think they will at all. I don't think they'll bring the TV guys into this. I think they view them as such almost separate vehicles now.
I think so as well, sadly.
We want Agent May.
Yeah, basically.
Poor Agent May.
With a side of Fitzsimmons.
Indeed.
So they're going to have to spend a lot of that Avengers Infinity War setting up everyone's place in this and how they're coming together and how they restore the rifts of Civil War. And you've got to introduce Thanos and make us believe he's this supremely powerful thing that no one can beat. It's and potentially have him getting all the Infinity Stones. Like, I don't see you can do that film without him actually becoming super powerful at some point. Who knows?
Nah.
It will be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it.
I am looking forward to it. I have loved the majority of the films we've got there. With the exception of Thor, which I went to sleep by the end of, and Civil War, which I'm just like, ugh. Stop fighting, just be friends and have fun.
But we liked Spider-Man.
We
liked Doctor Strange.
Did like Doctor Strange. But you're right, there's a hell of a lot of threads to pull together into a cohesive tale.
And we've still got Black Panther before that film. And we've possibly still got Ant-Man 2. I think that might be after Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
So, we'll see.
But Ant-Man, though, kind of irrelevant? Is that too mean?
I will go back to Ludwig Kitzmann's comment. He is the sorbet of the MCU.
Exactly.
Just a palate cleanser. Nothing substantial, but gets you from one place to the next.
Yeah. I mean, I suspect... Ant-Man's appearance in the Infinity Wars is probably going to be similar to his appearance in Civil War. Hey, I'm here, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm here, I'm the comedy mule.
Yeah, meh.
I know I'm here to set up more of Spider-Man, because he's the more important one here. So next we've got coming up the Justice League.
Hey, I think.
Maybe, hopefully, possibly.
Yay, Wonder Woman. Ooh, Amy Adams, Lois Lane.
Yeah. Zack Snyder,
Yay.
Joss Whedon.
Yay.
Joss Whedon, I have mixed feelings on now, so we'll see.
Yayish.
I'm an eternal optimist for DC, so hopefully it will come to something. Good.
Yay, Batman. Boo, Superman.
Yeah. And more Flash.
I have mixed emotions about it not being the right Flash.
Well, they are clearly setting him up as something different from all the images and everything I've seen. They're making this stand out, which is good. They need to.
It is good, because I like Grant Gustin.
Yeah. We hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts and feelings and comments after you've seen Thor, and we will speak to you soon.
Bye, guys.
We will see you across the MCU-verse.
Hey.
Now I wanna go with this rest of show.